Alright, hi everybody, it's Bonkai922 here to bring you Kotoura-San episode 10. This shit was fucking good. Like, seriously. No fucking around. Before I get into that, a few things to let everyone know. The fairy tale review is coming. It is. It is. I'm going to review it. Oh, God, no. But yeah, I'm going to review it. It was good. You know, it was good. Medica Box was like, what the fuck? And Kenichi was good. So, those will come later. I am going to review it. And I should mention, first video for this new group, the Titans of Darkness. It might happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. Who knows? Maybe at the beginning of the week we'll do our live streams. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. So, gotta wait and see. Unless I get a message from Whirlpool and he wants to do it tonight, fine. If not, you know, we'll see. But anyway, moving on. Also, there's a new gaming channel for those guys. Yeah, whatever. And the first live stream will probably be interviews. Anyway, moving on. Kotoura-San. This shit was so good. I was left speechless. This one was called But You're Not Here. Episode 10. Pretty much, the logistics of this episode was, yes, Hiyori, Mori, Motori-san, Moritani, Tony. I call him Hiyori. Hiyori was arrested. That was more or less the gist of this episode in the beginning parts. And, that was the beginning parts of this episode. She was arrested, and Kotoura-san found out, you know, Haruka, she found out about it, and she was upset. And what's done happening is, the beginning part of the episode, they go to the police station. Don't do this. Do not do this at your local police station. Do not. Because it is the most ridiculous thing anyone could possibly do at a police station. Manabe and Haruka, Kotoura-san, they go there. Kotoura, go there. Manabe and Kotoura. And start screaming Moritani's last name. You know, Hiyori's last name, Motori-san. Continuously. And says, oh, I know she's here, And then all of a sudden, two cops show up, this girl, police officer, this guy, and they kick him out. But they know she's there. And the look on her face, Hiyori, was really grim. Like, really grim. Like, almost to the point where you have to say, holy shit, she knows she did something wrong, and she's scared shitless. They Lee get kicked out, and then Yuriko and the vice president show up to tell them, oh, don't do that, you don't need to do that. Just chill out and, you know, so on and so forth, saying it's not a good idea to do that. So what ends up happening is the female detective, she shows up, who's working with the main detective on the case, and brings them in to talk to Hiyori. When they go in there, she's eating, which was kind of weird, and says that, oh, the female detective's telling him, oh, she was crying when she heard you guys. They were like, oh, making fun of her and stuff. It was kind of a thing. And this episode, the reason I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 also has to do with the fact that this episode really, it didn't really have to do with Haruka and Hiyori as much as it had to do with Yuriko, which I liked. I liked how all of a sudden we're doing this. We're going in this direction in the episode. And I was like, oh, I caught on it, and I thought that was interesting. The what's on happening is the main detective shows up and starts talking to them and so on and so forth, and says that she wants to help them, Kotoura-san, Haruka. She wants to help the detective find this guy who's attacking everybody. In this case. And he says, no, go home. Go home. Because he doesn't obviously believe. And then she shows to him how she can read minds and everything. And he can't believe it. But he decides to say they have to stay. She has to stay still. And seemingly they're kicked out. They don't want them getting involved in this business, in this police business, because it's dangerous and everything else. And even though they had a chance to convince him, Yuriko says, we're leaving. You have to understand something about this episode. This was really about Yuriko, because you go back to her past, and it was revealed to the detective about Yuriko's mother and the fact that she was a clairvoyant, somebody who could see the future. So that's when they left, and she didn't want to deal with it. And you can see the vice president, he was concerned about her for a good amount of time. And as they're leaving, this thing brings up. This is the big thing that turns it into a really great episode. Kotoura-San wants to catch the guy who's doing this, the attacker. Manabe is saying, no. He doesn't want her to do it. And he's afraid because, and she's reading his mind, and he's saying he doesn't want to ever see her like that again. And that's when it bridges off, and he leaves, and she is adamant about finding him, and they break off. Like a fight. An argument. They're And then that's when the rest of the episode pretty much is them looking for the guy who's doing this, the assailant, until, she comes out, she gets released, and they still are looking for him, this guy. They keep looking for him. And the other female detective is telling Kotoura-San, please, don't do this. Leave this to the police. It is too dangerous. Especially that alleyway, this second alleyway in the most busiest area in town. Don't go there. And they go there anyway. And there's also a few scenes in the episode with Manabe. Nothing too big. They go there anyway. And Kotoura-San feels something. She sees something. She sees that the person who's the assailant knows Yuriko's name. Well, I would say first name, I should say. Let me just make sure I'm correct on that. Yeah, her last name. First name, I should say. Knows first name. And that's when they're worried about her, and they go rushing, and then all of a sudden, the assailant is right behind her and hits her. She also says, that she's talking to herself, saying to her mother, thinking in her head, people are going to realize, they're going to know now, mother, I have a real psychic with me, and we're going to prove that they exist. That's when the assailant comes after her, and is about to hit her, and end of episode. And I'm like, no! I would have screamed. I'm like, no! Because it's like, what the fuck? Now, this is 12 episodes, so after next week, one more. Next week, by the way, is the final episode of Psycho-Pass. That's another thing. But let's get into this. Now, overall, this was an awesome episode, like I said. I mean, cliffhanger up the ass. Come on. That was a cliffhanger if I ever saw one. But the question then looms, that, what happened? And also, how this is going to go down. Because they're obviously trying to find, it's questionable to find out who this assailant is. personally, a few people want to go out and say, oh, it's Kotoura-San's mother's new boyfriend. I don't know if I'd go that far, but whoever this person is who's attacking people knows Yuriko. Knows her. Knows her first name. First name. So, knows her personally. So, this should be interesting. Now, overall, like I said, awesome episode. Manabe is like, come on. And I think next week what happens is Hiyori confronts Manabe and telling him to stop and help her, you know, Kotoura-san and everything. And I think next week, I'm not 100% sure, Kotoura-san might get attacked by the assailant. I don't know, but we have to wait and see. But overall, this was a good episode, like I said. Awesome fucking cliffhanger, man. It's just unbelievable. And this is like how, if this is Kotoura-san, what the fuck happened in Psycho-Pass this week? So that's another thing to think about. But yeah, good episode. This has been Bankai 922. I'll see you guys later. It was just, that just had me, man. Cliffhanger. Dun dun dun! What happened? Can't wait, gotta wait until next week. So, but yeah. And that's all I got for you guys. So yeah, this has been Bankai 922. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention. Unfortunately, this week is the final episode of Problem Children Are Coming From Another World, aren't they? I'm pissed, because I enjoyed the fuck out of that show. So expect for this weekend, anime review on that. Yes, I'm going to go in depth with this series. I'll try not to spoil too much, but I will go into depth of my reactions of the series as a whole, and what I thought about it. So yeah, this has been Bankai 922. I'll see you guys later. Who the fuck is this assailant? Nah. Hopefully Manabe gets his head out of his ass and gets back to Kotoura-san. Yeah. We'll see. See ya.